How's it going, John?
It's going well tonight, Eric. How are you?
I'm tired and hungry.
Sorry, dude.
All good.
Well, you're gonna have a leg up on me. I've been good so far. I know we said a couple weeks ago what our New Year's resolutions were going to be, and I've been pretty good. I've been tracking everything, and but no real change much yet. I don't know.
It's coming.
The first 4 or 5 days, I dropped 4 pounds, and then nothing. My body's like, wait a second, no. No. Anyway, it's all good.
Yeah.
I eat out too much. That's what it comes down to. I like going through the drive-through if I'm going to go out for a store or.
Well, just with everything for the last 2 years, I just need to get out of the house since the office is the house and home is the house and dinner and lunch are also breakfast, typically also the house.
Yep.
I do like to get out, but need to spend more time than running through a drive-through. Maybe discover some healthier options if you're not running through a drive-through.
Exactly.
Because I do the same thing.
Exactly. That's okay. It's all right. I am starting to get excited about spring already. I don't know. It turns into January, and I'm like, can I plant seeds yet? And the answer is no. But I don't know. It's all good. I did a bunch of outside stuff this weekend. It was a pretty decent weekend. I don't know, a bit foggy some of the days, but I don't know. I was able to prune a bunch of trees. We've got some grapevines that were going mad at the end of last year, and so I got them all kind of trimmed up and trellised and ready for spring, and I managed to succeed in my oxalic acid vaporization quest eventually.
This is the bee thing?
Yep, this is the bee thing. Although the battery that I was charging last weekend, this past weekend I took it out there and it was dead. So I don't know why I thought that it would hold enough of a charge, because I took it dead out of my car. I mean, like literally my car, I had to pull off to the side of the road and call my wife and go buy a battery and replace it on the side of the road. And that was the battery I was trying to use, which in retrospect was really dumb.
Worth a shot.
You know, another $79 battery later, and now I have the most valuable honey in the world.
So all 5 hives still?
The 5 hives are alive, yes.
Okay.
I don't know how alive, because it was too cold to crack them open. But I'll just lay it out here. I'm going to be happy if I have 3 hives that survive to spring.
Okay.
I think that is, I'm trying to set my expectations low, but that way I can be happy at 3. I don't know, super happy at 4, and ecstatic if all 5 make it. That's my,
you go.
That's my current plan. But you never know. Still months to go. How about you? Anything fun this weekend?
So I don't know if I mentioned before, but my boy has gotten into photography. He's almost 16. So this weekend we went and got his booster shot, and then we went photography hunting. So he had some ideas of some places he wanted to go to try to get some cool pictures.
Okay.
But as you mentioned, it was pretty foggy. So the anticipated pictures of, Mount Hood and some of the surrounding landscape were not the ones we had hoped for, but I still think he got some cool ones. Some trees in the fog, and I think he still got some cool ones. So we did that, and he's been enjoying doing that. And then at school, he has Photoshop.
Okay.
I keep thinking we need to get him his own Photoshop for home so that he can play with his pictures more, but haven't done that yet.
You can get a student version.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not a student version,
cheap.
But it's a student cost.
Yes. Yeah. It's the thing, but yeah, at student cost. We just haven't taken the time to do that because I am not a fan at how Adobe takes over your computer with their software. So I assume I will do it eventually, but I would love an alternative that he was able to translate from Photoshop, and don't say GIMP.
No, I was thinking, it's like Pixelmator or something like that?
Yeah, I have that one. And I actually own that one. That's the one I use for stuff. I just need to sit down with him. It's different enough from Photoshop though that maybe he can spend the time to learn it, but he's learning Photoshop in school.
Yeah.
But
well, Photoshop's the quote unquote industry standard.
Yeah. Oh, so and segue on that note.
Okay.
The other thing I did this weekend, speaking of Photoshop, and I didn't use Photoshop or Pixelmator, I used Logoist. I spent some time this weekend creating an icon for my little side project app.
Uh-oh.
So it's getting serious. I now have a logo, which is
I don't even know what one this is.
I haven't mentioned it yet. I haven't said it.
Okay.
Because I'm still in the it's 100% Swift UI and Catalyst, and it's got a Mac, iPad, iPhone, and Apple Watch interface.
Oh my.
So I'm just trying the whole end-to-end attempt here.
You're in the deep end.
The app is super simple, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. But it does have a logo. So I assume I'll be talking about it soon.
Boy, last I tried to write a Swift app. It was like last year. My current Mac cannot be upgraded to the version that runs the latest Xcode. And so I haven't done anything for a long time. But, oh my gosh, trying to find documentation was so awful. It was so awful. I look forward to trying now I'm disappointed.
No, I'm trying full Swift UI. Not storyboards, I jumped off the deep end. And it's an app idea I had several years ago and just never followed through because it's a very simple idea, but it was something that I wanted for me, and I figured, hey, here's a way I can learn how to do it end to end from the watch all the way to the Mac, and we'll see. Okay. I say I'm about 20% done. Maybe 30% done.
It's only 90% to go.
Yeah. Because it's all the spit and polish left. I think I've done all the hard parts. Now it's the finishing touches.
Suck. It so sucks that
that's the worst part.
So people that aren't developers will be like, "What are you talking about?" But no, you can actually get like the logic of what you want to happen done in like 10% or 15 or like some small percentage, and then the rest of it is getting an interface. How are you going to persist data? How are you going to secure it? If it's a web app, how are you going to do authentication? What's your infrastructure like? Blah 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 blah.
Well, that's the other thing I want to. I'm poking around with iCloud
core data.
So that I make a change on the Mac app and it reflects, no matter what device I'm staring at, to interact with the little app. So. So much to do. It's all in my head.
So many fun things to learn. That's what I like to think. That's awesome. Yep. Okay. Well, I look forward to learning more about it eventually.
So,
you can make me guess by pasting the icon into the notes, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually.
All right.
You ready for some? Well, I don't see any follow-up.
I didn't put any follow-up in there.
That's all good.
It's a bit of a short week for me, I guess for most, if you're in the States. Martin Luther King Day was this past Monday. Yeah. Yep. Although, I don't know. Eric, I'm getting old. Sucks. I went and I saw a physical therapist because my shoulder has been twitching for like 2 months now. And I'm like, I probably need to have better posture. And that's really what the physical therapist said. Yes. Except that she repeated it a couple times. Posture. Yeah.
Well,
so
you will never be as old as me. And when you are as old as me, I'm not going to care anymore.
You're not that much older than me. But no, it's all good. But that was one of the things I did this weekend where I'm like, all right, fine. I've got these exercises I need to do and blah, blah. Yeah, it is what it is.
All right.
Let's talk topics. What'd you bring me tonight?
So I remember talking about when the Baltimore County Public Schools had to close because of a cyber attack.
Yeah.
That was 2020, I believe it was. And I remember at that time thinking, hey, school districts are going to start building in snow days. And now there is an actual article where the title is Albuquerque schools are having a cybersecurity snow day, and they aren't alone.
Yeah.
Many educational institutions now are planning in what might happen if there is some kind of cyber attack, and they're calling it cyber days. You know, similar to policies for weather closure. Now they've got policies for handling cybersecurity attacks, which is all the more important with a lot of schools still being somewhat online and a lot more school districts becoming more comfortable with being online. I know here in Oregon, at least our school district is not online yet, but a number of because of the Omicron and spike in cases and whatnot.
Yeah.
But a number of the neighboring school districts are. So that was article number 1. This one, it happens to be in Albuquerque, and it's a longer article about Albuquerque, but
yeah,
it's now the norm.
My son, this is more about Omicron than cyber attacks, but my son said that in his advisory class yesterday, they had 12 out of 24 students in class. So 50%.
Yeah.
So, and I forget if I mentioned on the podcast or if I told you, but I followed your lead in buying a bunch of KN95s off of Amazon. Yeah. And they appear to not be fraudulent, so that's good.
Yeah.
So everybody's a little bit more securely masked up these days in the King household, at least. So hopefully we'll continue our lucky streak, let's say, but not looking good.
Yeah. Although I was seeing some data, it looks like it's already on the way down. So fingers crossed that it's already kind of spiked.
Had the holiday.
Yeah, through the holidays, it's going to lag the holidays, but
we were kind of thinking, discussing at dinner the other day, like, school districts really should have just been online for a week after Christmas,
Yeah.
Like, okay, go home, do online school, and then see if you don't have symptoms after you've, a few days later.
Yeah.
That I don't know. Hindsight's 2020, and would they actually be able to do that or willing to do that, at least in many parts of the country? Who knows? But I don't know. Anyway, I can wish.
Yep. And then second article that I saw it just happened today. I guess a Red Cross program called Restoring Family Links was responsible of a cyber attack. So a bunch of their data was stolen, and this is data like names, locations, and contact information. And what Restoring Family Links does is it's trying to reunite family members who have been separated by conflict, disaster, or migration. And so that data was stolen. It could, be able to not be a pleasant thing for people already in a tough situation.
Oh, totally.
And the director of the International Committee of the Red Cross said, your actions could potentially cause yet more harm and pain to those who have already endured untold suffering. The real people, the real families behind the information you now have are among the world's least powerful. Please do the right thing. Do not share, sell, leak, or otherwise use this data. Up to this point, there has been no comment from whoever did steal the data, but fingers crossed that even criminals realize they're not going to this is not going to get them financial. This is not a financial gain for them.
Yeah.
This is the one where, I suppose people will tolerate stealing from banks or big tech companies with lots of money, less keen on accepting, this. So we'll see.
You would hope.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the two that I saw this week that I thought were worth calling out.
This isn't really something fun or a security related thing, but The Red Cross is pretty desperate for blood donations at the moment. So if you are able and willing to donate blood, you really should. Although they are not making it as easy as you'd hope. We've been trying to get some appointments for a couple of weeks, like since Christmas, actually. And I guess maybe you just have to plan out a month, but it's hard for me to do that. So my wife and I actually wound up, that was another thing we did on Monday, was we were like, all right, we know there's one starting at 1:30 at the Presbyterian Church. There's no appointments available, but let's just see if they'll do, 2 walk-ins.
Right,
and
show up.
We'll be there at 1:15 and see if we can do it. And since we're both blood donors, we could both do the rapid pass thing, make it as easy as you can. But anyway, there's lots of blood needed at the moment. So go donate blood. That'd be good. All right. There you go.
Yep. All right.
Your public service announcement. My topics this week are relatively related, potentially related. I don't know. They both mention Ukraine a couple of times.
Yeah.
So the first one was from last week. There was a announcement by Russia that they had arrested 14 alleged members of the REvil ransomware gang, including the hacker or a hacker that the U.S. officials say executed the Colonial Pipeline attack last May, and, quote, announced it had eliminated the group at Washington's request. Because, that was one of Biden's asks, supposedly, of, their summit. But they immediately dive in, though. The article dives in and quotes an official that says, quote, the quote from the article is, the official said the administration did not believe the arrests were related to Russia's apparent preparations to invade Ukraine. But the official added, we have also been very clear, if Russia further invades Ukraine, we will impose severe costs on Russia in coordination with our allies and partners. And then there was a quote in here by Dmitry Alperovich that says, it's basically Russia playing, I don't know, this is John's interpretation, good cop and bad cop of, no, we could be good cop too. We'll do good things if you leave us alone and let us do our own bad stuff over here on this other thing. But I don't know. So the actual quote by Dmitry was, this is a significant action by Russian law enforcement against one of the most prominent ransomware gangs in the world. It also serves as a signal amidst potential significant deterioration of relations over Ukrainian conflict to show the type of meaningful help Russia can provide to the U.S. if it chooses to, or not. Yeah.
Right.
Why say Ukrainian conflict? They're not the ones provoking it. We should say Russian conflict or something like that. I don't know. That's a micro inequity or something like that. So this article, at least, and the official said that the administration official did not identify the hacker who was arrested, but that the individual was responsible for the attack on the Colonial Pipeline. And the Russian FSB said it raided 25 addresses in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and several regions. There were some videos posted on Twitter, too, or online if you are interested in going and seeing some of this. But seizing more than $1 million in U.S. currency, euros, Bitcoin, and rubles, as well as computer equipment and 20 luxury cars. So, good, I don't know. There's a lot of presumption, I guess, that the criminal sides of this, there's lots of state actor work too, but the criminal sides of this is more looked over or ignored. But so maybe it would be nice to have a partnership with taking down these sorts of gangs. I don't know that we've said this on the podcast. I'm pretty sure we have, but it's often the case that if the language of the device is in Russian, some malware will, basically abort.
Right.
Oh, no. Whoops. No. We don't want to hurt anything in Russia. So, let's see. So this is the kind of the tie into my next article, though, so end of last week, this was on the 14th of January, it says the REvil arrests also came as unknown hackers targeted Ukrainian government websites early Friday, blocking access and warning internet users to expect the worst. So Victor Zora, the deputy head of Ukraine's state agency of special communication and information protection, said, quote, close to 70 federal and local government websites were attacked, many of which were swiftly restored. There wasn't more information on that. But that kind of leads into my second article, which was, what's the date today? Today, we're recording this on the 19th. This article is from the 17th, so Monday. This one says that after last week's website defacements, so that was just, on last Friday, Ukraine is now being targeted by boot record wiping malware that looks like ransomware, but with one crucial difference. There's no recovery method. And officials have pointed the finger at Belarus. So this is interesting. It says, again, targets of this new malware wave span multiple government, nonprofit, and information technology organizations, according to a Microsoft warning. And then, so there's two stages for this. The stage one, it says it's often named stage1.exe, wipes the target Windows system's master boot record, or MBR, so that you can't boot. And then the second stage, quote, rampages through the rest of your system, overwriting everything from web files to web pages, from Word files to web pages, images and databases. It searches for a long list of file extensions and overwrites the file contents with a fixed number of 0 by cc bytes, totaling 1 megabyte. So Microsoft's Threat Intelligence Center said that the wiper was designed to look like ransomware. It even drops a ransomware note, has a Bitcoin address, tells victims to pay $10,000, but there's no ransom recovery mechanism. So it is intended to be destructive and designed to render targeted devices inoperable. So not sure, this is something, again, we're, I don't know, as a semi-observer, but not deeply into this region, at least. This seems, yet another part of the whole escalation between, Russia and Ukraine. Because the other sort of last bit of data in this article is that the Deputy Secretary of National Security and Defense of Ukraine, Serhiy Demichuk, says it was group UNC 1151, or also known as Ghostwriter, that is, they believe, that is a cyber espionage group affiliated with the special services of the Republic of Belarus, but that the malicious software used to encrypt some of the government servers is very similar to characteristics to that used by the APT-29 group, which is Russia's spy agency. So, the exact quote is here is that Demichuk's attribution, I'm probably mispronouncing his name, his attribution cites the industry nickname for Russia's SVR spy agency. If Belarus, which recently tightened its political ties with Russia, is carrying out cyber attacks directed by Russia and using Russian tools, this adds another dimension to the simmering conflict in Ukraine. That's a quote. So, continue to watch this space. But
so when I was little, it was threat of nuclear war. Now it's cybersecurity, ransomware, cybersecurity snow days, and cyber conflict.
Remember the grid was actually attacked last time. Yeah, there's no doubt that any future conflicts will have a electronic dimension. I hate the word cyber. I hate the word cyber like that. Okay.
A heavy aspect.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what happens. And that is not fun at all. So transition to something fun, please.
This is only fun if you like making fun of a certain corner of the internet these days. The website is web3isgoinggreat.com. And it is definitely tongue-in-cheek. It is not, let's just say, the headline on the webpage is, Web3 is going just great and is definitely not an enormous grift that's pouring lighter fluid on our already smoldering planet. So, and what this website is doing is you can filter on different aspects, filter on all things that are hacker scams, bad ideas, shady business, bugs. So it's basically just a listing, a timeline of articles, and it links to articles for all these different things around Web3.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This is awesome.
Yeah. And if you look at the bottom right, as you scroll up, there's a running tally about how much money has been lost, burned, stolen, destroyed, whatever, for each of these. And they're hilarious sometimes in how naive people are, as well as just showing some of the ludicrous aspects of Web3. And one of the things that I learned, which I hadn't heard this term before, is because it's one of the flags you can filter by, it's rug pull, right? So rug pull, I guess, in this parlance is where a group pumps up an idea, gets people to donate cryptocurrency, and instead of following through with whatever it was, they just pull the project and keep the cash, or keep the digital cash. They pull the rug out from under whatever the project is. So there you go. It's fun to kind of scroll through and it does help that there is a what is Web3 link at the top and some glossaries, and it's it definitely is not trying to see both sides. There is definitely this is not good slant to it, and here's some articles that prove my point, but it's a continuous,
Oh, wow.
Every day there's new articles that get linked and posted about what's going on in Web3. So
yeah,
kind of funny, kind of not funny, but
yeah, I saw a tweet, and I'm probably going to butcher it a little bit, but the essence is here that it was like, Web 1 is pages, Web 2 is apps, Web 3 is pyramid schemes.
Yeah, I think I saw the same one.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, old man yells at cloud. I'm looking at this NFT developers rug pull for a third time, this time with Big Daddy Ape Club.
Yeah.
This time making off with $1.2 million. The project's creators were reportedly the same as those who'd pulled off the $2 million Baller Ape Club rug pull in October 21 and a 150,000 one before that. So fool me 3 times and it's on me, I guess.
You've got a good thing going, but just you can also get an idea of what kind of things people are trying to back. Building a city in Wyoming based on cryptocurrency. There's just it. There you go. Go check out web3isgoinggreat.com, and it's not sarcastic at all.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm looking. I love the icons in there, the emojis, actually, I guess, in the middle of the timeline. There's the pile of poop. a lot here. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
What's my something fun? I have something a little more fun. Well, maybe. If diseases are fun, probably not. Okay, so this is a scientific article on science.org. This says longitudinal analysis reveals high prevalence of Epstein-Barr virus associated with multiple sclerosis. So, actually, I think that title might actually undersell what the article seems to say. So this is the abstract. So multiple sclerosis is a chronic inflammatory demyelinating disease of the central nervous system of unknown etiology. We tested the hypothesis that MS is caused by Epstein-Barr virus in a cohort comprising more than 10 million young adults on active duty in the U.S. military. So 10 million. 955 of whom were diagnosed with MS during their period of service. Risk of MS increased 32-fold after infection with EBV, but was not increased after infection with other viruses, including the similarly transmitted cytomegalovirus. Serum levels of neurofilament light chain, a biomarker of neuroaxonal degeneration, increased only after EBV seroconversion. I don't even know what seroconversion is. These findings cannot be explained by any known risk factor for MS and suggest EBV as the leading cause of MS. So
what's my takeaway?
Your takeaway is...
You said lots of word and I tried listening. I did. Honest.
The takeaway is we don't know what causes MS today. And this study says
maybe we do.
We think that we know what causes MS, which is this Epstein-Barr virus. Because if you contracted EBV, you have a 32-fold increase in your chance of contracting MS or exhibiting MS symptoms afterwards. So I am not reading this whole article here because this goes on exactly like that. Like the whole thing. This is very much I skimmed the article trying to go, okay, that makes sense, blah, blah, blah. So, but they were able to use, let's see, it says, over the course of a 20-year collaboration with the U.S. military, we have identified cases of MS in a cohort composed of active duty U.S. military personnel between 1993 and 2013, a racially diverse population of more than 10 million individuals. Active duty members are screened for HIV at the start of military service and biennially thereafter, and residual serum from these tests, greater than 62 million serum samples, is archived in the Department of Defense Serum Repository. We used samples stored in the GODSR to determine EBV status at the time of first sample and the relation between EBV infection and MS onset during the period of active duty. In a preliminary study, we found that 5.3% of individuals were EBV negative at the time of first sample, corresponding to hundreds of thousands of EBV negative young adults at risk of EBV infection and MS. But the other note that I pulled out of here, so that's how they were able to kind of do such a large longitudinal study, was cooperating with the U.S. military that's collecting all this data or these samples and has them stored. But here's sort of the money quote here, kind of. To explain a 32-fold increase in MS risk, any confounder, so confounding by known, well, let me actually start back a little bit. Confounding by known factors is virtually ruled out by the strength of the association. To explain a 32-fold increase in MS risk, any confounder would have to confer a greater than 60-fold increase in risk of EBV seroconversion and a greater than 60-fold risk of MS. None of the known or suspected risk factors for MS have such strong associations. The next strongest known risk factor for MS, homozygosity, for this other particular genetic marker, confers a 3-fold increase in MS risk, is not associated with EBV positivity, and thus cannot explain the EBV-MS association. So the next strongest link is a 3-fold increase with a particular genetic marker, and contracting this virus gives you a 32-fold increase in MS risk. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
They were pretty strong in saying that. I didn't pull out the final sentence in here, but it was, let's see. I thought they were pretty strong in here that saying that it was a causal association, likely causal.
Thus, collectively, these findings strongly suggest the occurrence of EBV infection detectable by the elicited immune response is a cause and not a consequence of MS.
Thank you.
Is that
Thank you. That's the sentence I was looking for. That was a cause and not a consequence. So perfect. So I don't know. This I don't know how this floated across my my vision this week, but I was super excited because I've had a couple of folks in my life, at least, that have MS, and I am very hopeful for. I don't know that once the disease has progressed significantly, I don't know that there's a way to go backwards. But if there's a way to develop a vaccine for the causal virus, that would be really exciting.
Got it. Well, so, cool.
There you go. Something fun.
All right. Maybe.
Maybe.
So, yeah. Could be fun. All right, John.
All right. Yeah. Be well this week, Eric.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. I'll talk to you next week.
Yep. See
Bye.
ya. Bye.